of you may have seen a video I did a few weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, where I was just on cloud nine, jumping through the roof with energy and excitement in this new journey of weightlifting I embarked upon. And I was riding this amazing wave for weeks until I'm cleaning the garage and I find a box that belonged to my mother. A toxic person I threw out of my life. And I needed to drop the box off to her, so I thought, well, I'll just drive the box and put it in her front and leave. And as I'm turned down her street, all that excitement and zest I had, for weeks, just went bloop. I physically felt it just drain out of me as I went into this like dark energy. And I called my lovely son and told him, oh my God, I just could not believe this experience. It was just so physical. And, we were talking and about how the importance of, just surrounding yourself with
people who don't drain you.
People that don't drain you. Exactly. And I know I did a video about this once, but this is a little recap to that. So, because we were just talking about this for hours and we had a lot of really good points and it was really helpful. I'm proud to say I got my zest for life back and I'm boop, boop, as long as I stay away from toxic people.
You were telling me how you felt when you got done seeing her, how you felt amazing and how you were, so excited about life because of working out. And then as you go to see her on your way to your mom's house, all of a sudden, all that starts to get drained. And that is the number one thing in business. It's 101, that you cannot have negative people around you. You cannot surround yourself with those types of people when you're trying to build something, be it a business, be it yourself, anything like that, because that uncertainty that they give you is so much more dangerous than you realize. You're in such a sensitive state when you're building something like that, and their negativity can bring you down far more devastatingly than you could possibly have realized. And something like, oh, I'm gonna go drop this off at my mom's house, no problem, right? Well, all of a sudden now you feel terrible. You didn't even realize that it would make you feel like that. The same thing goes for people. I was building a business and I had friends who I would talk to, and I was very successful. I wasn't successful, but I was taking the successful next steps to building a business. And I was, some of them wouldn't work and they would fail, but any good person would tell you the road to success is paved with failures. And that's what I was doing. I was paving my road to success and I was constantly in action. But there was some people who would say, that's a stupid idea. That's terrible. That's awful. Right. And boy, I'd get done with them and I'd feel terrible. And
like you're questioning yourself.
I'd be so much more unsure of myself, more so than I already was. Right. So it's just vital to your success that you don't have those people interfere in your life. And I had to cut them out.
It's not so much like strangers, people you don't know, saying stupid comments like, oh, you're old, you're ugly. I mean, that's just so stupid when I've said this before, I do not take any criticism from somebody I don't respect. So that's okay. That can go right through you. But when it comes from your mother, for me, it's a little more, my mother, that's why it's always been this thing. And I know a lot of you women out there are going through the same thing that I've been going through. And the best thing you can do is just put that toxic person as far away from you as you can, because then the light and the happiness and the zest comes back. But how can that be if there's like a cloud hanging over you? What you told me about that movie, Her.
So there's this movie, Her. And if you've already seen it, then you'll probably know where I'm going with it. But if you haven't seen it, spoiler warning, click off now. It's about a guy, Joaquin Phoenix, and he is extremely depressed in life. He's going through a divorce. His work life is suffering. His personal life, everything about it is just dwindling, and he doesn't know what he's going to do. So he's in this extreme state of depression. Mm-hmm. Then he gets this phone, and it has artificial intelligence. So he develops a relationship with a phone. That's crazy. To me, it's crazy. To you, I mean, it's not normal, but it wasn't for him. For him, it made him feel like he was actually in a real relationship, like it gave his life meaning again. So he goes to work and everybody goes, oh my gosh, something's changed. What's going on with you? And he's so happy. All of a sudden, it lifted him out of that state of depression. It changed how he felt, and it made him into a whole new man, from sitting there on the bottom of the totem pole to back on top. Now, not only did he feel great, his work improved, his outlook on life improved. So his ex-wife calls him up and says, hey, I need to meet up with you to sign these documents just to finalize our divorce. So he says, okay, sounds great. Meets up with his ex-wife, and she says, you look amazing. What's going on with you? He tells her about this relationship with his phone. It's changed his life. He's so happy now, finally, for the first time since the divorce. He feels like a new man. And the first thing she says is, that's weird. Not normal, and I don't know why you would do that, and just putting him down. So then she leaves, they part their ways, and that leaves him thinking, am I weird? Is this not normal? Should I not be having this feeling towards a phone? And all of a sudden his life spirals back down into a state of depression. He realizes, the phone's talking to him. Hey, how's it going? And he's like, I don't know, this is kind of weird now that I think about it. And he second guesses himself. And that second guessing yourself causes that downward spiral, which can take you back into just a depression, it just destroys your life. And these people who are toxic are so much more dangerous than we really comprehend and give them credit for. So it is so vital that we protect ourselves from someone like that. And if we know that we're about to approach a situation where we're going to meet that, like he was with his ex-wife, then we need to put up these barriers to make sure that we keep it as quick as possible, as simple as possible. The way that I like to do it is I say as little as possible as I can. When I know I'm meeting someone who's a downer and they say, hey, how's life? The last thing I do is tell them what really gives me joy in my life, because so many times I've said that, oh, I just decided I'm going to make this new business. Oh, well, and then they start saying things that'll bring you down. So, hey, what's new with your life? Nothing much, nothing, nothing, yeah. Because then you protect yourself from them tearing down what makes you happy. So hold what makes you happy sacred to your heart. And if that's a feeling that you have, if that's your mental state, if that's being around certain people, you have to be aware of that. It is vital to success. Personal, professional, relationship, emotional, spiritual, that you do not allow these people in your life.
He should have said, you know what? Mail me the papers. And you could have just avoided that person, altogether. It's all about avoiding the wrong people and surrounding yourself with the right.
There's some people who sit there and they'll try to rush you in life and they'll try to do things to you, and you gotta try to block that out. Okay, if somebody sits there and they make you feel like, oh, hurry up, do this, do that, make you freak out. If they're putting the pressure of what they think life should be onto you, it's your job to sit back and say, listen, either calm them down and not have them, throw that pressure and explain to them, please, you need to allow me to work at my own pace. And if it's someone like your boss, you have to work with them if you can. Otherwise, even if it's a job and they're sitting there throwing that pressure on you, just cut that off. I mean, how are you going to sit there and expect to work at a job that's destroying your quality of life and making you feel terrible? So if it's a boss, if it's a lover, a family member, a friend, it doesn't matter who it is. You have to protect your mental sanity, because I know you may be sitting there thinking, well, this boss pays my check, he pays my rent. Well, it doesn't matter, because how successful are you going to be if you have nowhere to go? And I'm sorry, but there's always a way to make money. So it's up to you to figure out, how am I going to move from this job into somewhere else that isn't going to sit there and drain me mentally and sit there to the point where I'm depressed about who I am. And then I start drinking, or I start doing other things, or eating bad food, which is further destroying my life. And next thing you know, you die and you're miserable with yourself.
Right. Then you guys might realize, which is why it is so important to not think about it. Oh, well, maybe, or hope and pray they'll change. Nothing is going to change. It doesn't change. I mean, I'm 51. I've been trying to change a couple people in my family for decades, and obviously it's not working. So I have to protect myself because nobody else will. They don't have my best interests at heart. That's what it is. And basically it just boils down to appreciating the people that really care about you, because that is the greatest gift. And I don't think nothing is as important as people who care about you. And the people that don't or can't, let them go. What are some good suggestions you have, like is there a way? What do you do when somebody may say something negative or a jab at you to try and hurt you?
One of the things that I do to, try and help myself from that is I don't read the comments. A lot of people, they do that. They don't read the comments because you can get 1,000 comments that say, wow, you're amazing, that's great. And then get 3 comments that are negative, and all you'll do is focus on those negative comments. And it's just kind of instinct. When something's good, it brushes over your shoulders and it's totally shadowed by the negative. Because why is it negative? What's going on? That's what you focus on. So if you just don't read those, that's one tactic that you can use. Yeah. Another tactic that I use, if someone is, close to me and they're aggressive, or even if they're not close to me, if someone really gets under my skin, which I do my best to not give them that power, but it's you can't control it a lot of the times. So I try to, instead of combating them and giving them this big argument of why I think I'm right and why they're wrong, and continuing that cycle of negativity and arguing, which is so unnecessary and unproductive, for both me and that person. But usually that person doesn't care if they're willing to combat you like that. Right. So I just say, yeah, no, that's fine, no problem. I let them feel as if they won whatever the argument was. They put me down and they go, yeah, you're terrible, you're crap. And I go, okay, I'll do my best to work on that.
You chose peace rather than to try and be right.
But it destroys you inside, and you don't want to be like that. You want to go back and say, no, screw you. How dare you say that to me? But instead of going like that, I say, okay, sounds good. And I take those emotions and I'll write it down. In my phone, I have pages written down.
That's so helpful.
I want to sit there and I want to argue back at them, and I want to yell at them. And I write down everything that I think that's wrong with them, even the ridiculous things that I want to say, however offensive that I want to get. I can still release these emotions to myself without having to continue engaging with somebody whose really only main purpose is to bring me down as far as I can go. And I mean, whether they know it or not, but that's their intention, to bring me down, no matter what I'm doing. If I'm building myself, if I'm building a company, they're subconsciously or consciously saying these things to draw me down. Even if they think they're helping, it's still bringing me down. And I don't want to engage conversations with them at all. And that is so important. If you want to protect your mental sanity and your emotional sanity.
Yeah, that writing down, I remember I wrote a letter to my mother when I was 18, yelling at her for, the job she did raising me. And I never sent it. I threw it away. And I felt so much better.
Exactly.
You don't even have to send it. Just get it out of you.
In 2 or 3 years, they're going to still be this negative person with all these problems and these aggressions weighing them down. Well, I'm sitting there, much healthier for it, and living this life that does not surround themselves with negativity, and far healthier mentally and physically and emotionally than anybody who wants to sit there and continue arguing and put somebody down.
Bravo. And I guess that's what it just boils down to. I either don't care, not like them, or have compassion for those people that try and bring you down, but don't let them penetrate you, because you have to be secure with yourself. And, I'm secure with myself. I love that I'm 51 because I want to be the best old person I can be. Here's the thought too. You could flip it around and say, well, you know what? This is what I've thought before. I've thought, if you feel better taking your frustrations or your that you don't like me or you don't like the way I look, if you feel better afterward, then I'm glad I could help you. I don't even know you, and I helped you.
Yeah, if it's just a single, quick remark online, if it's somebody in traffic, if they're saying something negative towards you, and if that makes them feel better, great, absolutely. There's no need to, do anything different. But if it's somebody who's like your mother, your boss, your lover, and they continuously berate you with these insults, at that point, that's when you have to start acting and cut them off, because you can't have something like that and continuously think, oh, well, it makes you feel better. Let me be your punching bag. A quick punch, that's fine. Keep it moving. But if somebody's continuously close to you and they're jabbing you, that's when you got to cut them off.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, and I think we'll continue to talk about it because this is a problem with so many people. A lot of people have toxic people in their life and they're bringing them down, or family members. And the stories that some women wrote me, and I just want to tell them, I did write a lot back, but I wanted to tell them nothing is ever going to change. I never bonded with my mother. And here's me trying till I'm 50 to bond with these two people that obviously don't really care about me, but I don't know. I know with that one, I know with my mother, it's like, well, she could help me, so I'm going to keep her in my life. And it's like, then I feel, you're feeling used. It's just an ugly feeling. And we're only here for a short period of time, from now until you die. Is this the way we want to be living our life? Arguing and trying to, get along with our family members, or allowing them to jab us and make it, lose our momentum for life and everything? Or just be strong and say, I don't have time for this. Let them go.
And it's really important too, because if somebody says something negative about you, let's say online, let's say whatever comments,
do it all the time.
Exactly, whatever comments that you get, exactly, it's, of course, everybody has their own opinion and they're entitled to it. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, whatever it is. They can think that you're terrible, awful, but it doesn't matter what they think for you. What only matters is how you see yourself, and that is the most important thing. How do you see yourself? And that feeling that you have about yourself, you need to project that towards others, and you need to project that positivity, because people who are sitting there saying negative things are usually projecting themselves in a negative way. They have this negative feeling towards themselves, and they sit there and they spew it onto you, either deliberately or not. So it's kind of fantastic if you can have this opposite effect, and you can have this beautiful outlook of yourself and sit there and project positivity and throw this positive energy towards somebody and make them feel great. Because I know you've sat there and experienced that a lot of people have, where you talk to somebody and they just make you feel amazing when you're done talking to them. It's because they have this great feeling towards what's going on, and they're pushing that on you. Next thing you know, you're feeling amazing. So I don't want this to just be about negative people too, because just as important, if not more so, is surrounding yourself with positive people, and knowing that these people who have this wonderful outlook, who instead of telling you their problems and why it's your fault or how you need to help them, they tell you their problems and then how they're fixing them, and they're showing you how they're being productive towards fixing your problem. So not only is it not making you feel guilty about what's happening in their lives, but you're also getting a small little dose of education about how you can handle problems too.
Sure.
It's incredible to surround yourself with positive people, because just like you and Marcus, it's fantastic. I cannot believe that you two met. Someone who loves and cherishes healthy food and healthy living like Marcus, to combine with you, someone who is an incredible raw food chef. So, that is just a picture perfect combination.
It was a match made in heaven.
I still can't believe it happened. And look what happened with you two. You brought each other up. You were two positive influences with each other, and you were able to uplift each other and create something magical. And in the same sense, I surrounded myself with you two. And I love being around you guys. And that helped me build. And I saw that, and it made me so happy and pleasant and relaxed, because I know that you're both happy and growing. And that made me feel much more safe and secure to grow my own things, because I don't have to worry.
We were inspiring. Exactly. Also, you surround yourself with people who inspire you to be the best.
Exactly. And I'm not sitting there worried about, are you abusing Marcus? Is he abusing you? What do I have to do and step in and, try to help? No, I don't have to do that. I look at you, and instead of worrying, I'm inspired. I'm shocked. I cannot believe the lengths that you guys go to improve. And that's what I always say. I'm shocked how I'm always inspired, how you continue to inspire.
Now look at if it was negative, if your mother was with a man who brought her down, who talked down to her, or even hit her. I mean, how ugly is this life, your world? Why would I want to do that to me or you? Or it's just so much nicer to, it all boils down to, how does this person make me feel? And that's how I really gauge, a lot when I'm around people. How does this person make me feel?
And it doesn't matter if it's your mother, friend, like I said, boss, whoever. I remember when we joke around sometimes, and I say, you do something for me, and I go, hey, get that crap out of here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just kidding. And I'd ask you, sometimes I say, hey, what would you do if I was like a little kid and I talked to you like that when, you were raising me at like 13? And you'd say, without even skipping a beat, oh, I wouldn't have you in my life. I'd push you away. You'd go to, adoption, military school, whatever. I wouldn't be putting up with that.
No, I wouldn't. I hear the way kids talk to their parents. I'm like, are you kidding me? My child will never talk to me. A couple times you tried talking to me like that when you were a teenager. I wasn't having it. I am not going to, the person that pays the bills has
it in me very early on. I remember the first cuss word I ever said around you was at 20 years old, because I knew, I was cussing the whole life, but I did not want to bring any type of behavior like that towards you, because I knew
I had enough. Yeah, but plus I had enough. Yes. A wise woman once said, from now till the day you die, is this the way you want to live your life? To a woman that was in a precarious situation with her husband. And when you put it that way, I mean, it's very thought-provoking. You're like, yeah, I only have this little block left in my life. Why am I going to try and change somebody and fight with them and pray and hoping and praying that they're going to change? Or, wasting all this energy on something that's just futile. People just don't change. The majority don't. And so when I had this conversation with my son on the phone, I was like, oh my God, we need to talk about this, because so many of us are going through situations like this with our loved ones, people in our families. So yeah, and you're visiting from California, so I had to throw you in another video.
Well, thank you. And, just leaving it off at, block yourself from negativity, attract positivity, gravitate towards it. And like you said, people don't change, but you can change yourself. That's right. Make sure you change yourself to not be around that.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me. This was absolutely a dream come true.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for joining us as well. And I really hope you guys took a little bit from my mistake. See what I did? I went back to the dark side, and I shouldn't have. And I knew I shouldn't have, and look what happened to me. All right, you guys take care. I hope you guys are having a great day. Bye. Say bye.
Oh. You were talking to everybody, so I didn't realize I had to say bye. I figured you'd say bye for the both of us, but have a beautiful day. Goodbye. I'm not sure which camera you're looking at. Bye.
Bye. I don't know what I did to deserve these two, but I'm not letting them go. See, I'm smart. Know a good thing when I see him.
And it's so true. I agreed.